And hopefully Damien, and we're live here on Friday morning, May 8th, 2026. We're going to make a slight adjustment to the agenda while our ledge counsel was detained a little bit this morning, and he should be here in the next 5 or 10 minutes, I hope. We have Deputy Commissioner Matt Russo in the chair. Good morning, welcome. We're wrapping up our miscellaneous motor vehicle hopefully today, and as you know, and we'll hopefully vote on it here this morning. But I wanted to make sure that the DMV was aware. I know we've talked about it, but the whole committee might want to add some comments and whatnot, but not in this bill, but I can say that for those that have been talking and may or may not be back next year, and there's, there'll be likely a fair amount of us that may or may not be back in the spot, that the idea of we're going to require battery electric vehicles, and the T-bill likely, if it does pass, is going to require that battery electric vehicles have their inspection in order to get their odometer reading before they can register again. And it seems pretty universal in the committee that if we're going to do it for some subsection of pleasure vehicles, that we should probably do it for all. That if you're going to require an inspection for some, so I would say that this committee would expect when we come back next year, if it's not considered in a miscellaneous motor vehicle for the next year, that would likely have more than enough support in the committee to move that forward for next year. Which also led me into other conversations that I think that I can't say that I speak for the whole committee, but I'm learning that other states have a scenario where if you don't have insurance proof, you can't re-register or renew your registration either. And that there's entire systems out there where the insurance industry and the DMVs are notified back and forth regularly on insurance cancellations. So that the idea of the amount of uninspected vehicles that are out there in the state and the amount of uninsured vehicles are both issues for the committee. And it sounds like we may or may not be able to do something about that. And we'd be looking for that in the future. Representative McCoy?
I do know that when I go to get my car inspected, they want to see my registration and insurance. And sometimes the insurance, like they can't find it in the little thing because I keep all the insurance, like I forget to pull them. So I don't know, is an inspection, do you have to have insurance? Like, why is my guy that's inspecting my car asking for my insurance card? Is it a requirement?
It's a requirement.
Oh, it's a requirement. Okay.
That's for inspection, but to go register it, you don't have to prove inspection, you don't have to prove insurance, which I think that we're sort of saying, maybe you should.
Okay.
And we're letting you know that that's how we're thinking. And as you craft the miscellaneous motor vehicle bill for next year, these are some thoughts at the foremost of what we think we want to go into. Now, granted, legislation changes and, we get our review next November. So, but in the meantime, we're in the spot, and I think we could pretty universally say these are a couple of areas that we want to see some action in. So that was part of that. There's also this, you might have heard the benefit of some discussion and research going on around super speeders. There's more technology out there and more ways to take advantage of technology to help with enforcement and whatnot and public safety. Probably public safety is to look at it, and enforcement, that perhaps we'll be able to at least update and identify where we see technology and items might be able to help us improve public safety. And super speeders and technology, we have the ability to keep emissions from running. Apparently there's ability to maintain your speed levels and things of that nature. And we would like to see, and perhaps we may even ask for some update over, if we end up being here a few more weeks, some ideas, but also we want you to really understand that we're looking for the department to work on that before we come back next year.
First, Matt Russo, Deputy Commissioner for DMV. Yeah, that's definitely on our list. It's in its infancy right now, ISA. States was just now onboarding, passing legislation. So it's definitely something that we can look into and do a little research on.
Okay. And our ledge counsel has arrived. We're not going to we need to hear from ledge counsel on the potential changes around motorcycle mufflers. Unless you already read them and you want to make your statements first. Representative Keiser had proposed some language around motorcycle inspections related to the exhaust. If you want to make those, or if you have comments on that, I guess we can take them right now, but then we're going to switch over to ledge counsel.
Yeah.
We haven't actually been reviewed all of the language as a committee yet.
We just had a few clarifications. Other than that, everything else seemed pretty straightforward, and we were definitely fine with it.
Did you share those with our ledge counsel? Or you want
Yes.
to the committee or not?
Yeah, just the rather than amplifying noise, we just wanted to clarify that would be denied if it was designed to amplify noise, if that was the purpose of the equipment, the exhaust. And then the other change or clarification was below that section 2. And it was just the same thing, increasing noise, and just didn't want to leave it ambiguous. I want to clarify exactly what would be failed. I guess is the good word. Because as we're trying to get away from ambiguity in our regular inspection manual, we just want to make sure that we're consistent in the motorcycle inspections as well. Other than that, everything else is fine. We were okay with it.
Okay. We can bring, I don't think he's leaving, so we can bring him back, or if there's a question right now.
I'll be here.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, Damien. Welcome up to the chair. And miscellaneous motor vehicle, and where we're starting is well, what was originally, it was originally section 29. And now is section, I'm not sure exactly, but
28.
And Representative Keiser shared some language about sort of the emphasis and the pieces on that. So he sort of spoke to it yesterday. We haven't seen the language yet, or we haven't seen it in the committee. So we're looking to pick up there, see if we can find something that works. Or go back to what was proposed from the Senate, or wherever we might end up.
All right, I'm coming into the Zoom meeting right now. So while I'm doing that, for the record, I'm Damian Leonard from the Office of Legislative Counsel. I will pull up the amendment, which I sent to all of you yesterday afternoon, or the proposed change, I guess. It's drafted as an amendment. Oh.
While he's bringing that up, I got to tell you, at 5:54 this morning, I could hear a noise in the background from the interstate that was clearly a motorcycle, and it lasted a lot more than 6 seconds. It was something, I think I got up to 22 before I could hear it at all. It wasn't incredibly annoying for the whole 22 seconds, but there is no competing noise at 5. I think Representative White mentioned it. It's amazing how much more you notice when you start looking for things.
When you're up at 5.
Well, I didn't want to be up at that time, and it wasn't the motorcycle that woke me, but as I laid there, I will say, until the leaves come out, the noise from the interstate, and we're not that close to it, it is amazing, but I'm not sure whether this would or wouldn't help solve that. But I will say that the discussions of the committee do heighten what I look for and notice in the world. And that is a big, long, open stretch. So please, now that it's up, that was enough about that.
Or,
I wouldn't have paid any attention for this discussion.
I've been noticing a lot of paper plates lately. Well, I was commiserating with Justin Johnson this morning. We both had instances of being cut off in the last few days by someone who has an expired paper plate on their car. So doesn't seem like it was the same person, but
Paper plates on the side.
I know, I was like,
Yeah.
And eat out.
Yeah.
Reno Day. He must have been.
Yeah.
Doing Reno.
no, not Green Up Day.
Okay.
Paper printout temporary license plates that mine was an expiration date in like 2021 or something like that. So,
Wow.
but anyway, this here creates a new section. So the Senate proposal tags onto the language that provides that motor vehicles shall be in good condition and well equipped, which is the basis for all of our inspection requirements. That's been defined to include things like having proper safety equipment and manufacturer standard equipment, et cetera. Or at least the things that the car comes with: headlights, taillights, seat belts, et cetera. So this would create a new section at the end of that, towards the end of the inspection chapter, just because I've got a lot of room there. And the inspection chapter is a mishmash. There's no clear order. We've added a few for school buses here, and then a few for trucks, and then a few for cars, and then we've got some bicycle stuff in there. it's all over the place. So it didn't seem like a problem to add this at the end. So it provides that a motorcycle operator on highway shall be equipped with an exhaust system that includes a muffler or other mechanical device designed to reduce the noise emitted by the motorcycle. Motorcycle shall be in violation of this section if the motorcycle's exhaust system has missing or removed internal baffles, has a cutout or bypass, has been modified to increase the noise emitted from the motorcycle. And I know there are comments from DMV on this front, or is a straight pipe or similar type of exhaust that is not designed to reduce the noise emitted by the motorcycle. Again, I know there may be some tweaks based on the DMV feedback. And then a motorcycle that violates this section shall not pass an inspection required under section 1222. And the provisions of this section do not apply to motorcycles that are being operated in races or contests or other demonstrations of speed or skill. And there was language in the Senate version that said, or applicable zoning permits. I'm not sure how applicable zoning permits are to holding a race. I think that proposal may date back to questions about whether track is properly permitted. But at this point, I think keeping the zoning questions about a racetrack or a fairgrounds and the applicable state and municipal laws separate makes more sense. And then section 29 requires the Commissioner of Motor Vehicles to amend the inspection manual as necessary to implement the provisions of the section. Reading the inspection manual, I think any amendments would be relatively minor, but I would leave that up to the folks at DMV who are the experts and work directly with the inspection mechanics. So that's the language. Questions?
Representative Casey, on, was it line 18, or number 4, was the straight pipe or some type of exhaust that is not designed. So from what? I wonder from what? What's the original noise that we're going by? The stock pipes? Would that be? Because stock pipes, I mean, it makes you feel like you're riding a Honda Goldwing and they don't make any noise at all. You kind of wonder when to shift it.
Okay.
So I just,
yeah.
I mean, the intention of putting pipes on afterwards, I suppose, is to make it sound, you know, yeah, a little louder. When a Harley comes through stock, I mean, they don't make much noise. They kind of sound like I hate to say it, but a Honda, a little Goldwing thing is what they kind of sound like.
Yeah.
You tell it's a V, but it's not like. So somebody would put pipes on no matter what, whether they're okay or not. It's to give it a little bit more noise, I'm sure. I mean, that's.
So the Senate, or not the Senate, the DMV proposal would be to change that language to any exhaust device designed to bypass the muffling system.
Okay.
So that would potentially allow for an exhaust that has been changed to add more of a rumble or whatever sound you're going for, which could be louder, but still has a muffling system or whatever system built in. As for the so if I'm looking at, and it could just be is a straight pipe exhaust system. So the similar type of exhaust system was my addition from Representative Representative Keyser's proposal, and this could come from a lack of knowledge about exhaust systems. It didn't want to inadvertently exclude something, but it could just be limited to a straight pipe exhaust system. And then you could remove everything. You could remove or similar type, and then that is not designed to reduce the noise emitted by the motorcycle, because a straight pipe has no muffling system in there. It's just straight out.
Right.
So, but again, I defer to Representative Keyser and to the committee if you decide to add this to the bill.
But that doesn't sound like, excuse me, but doesn't it sound like the DMV has modified that section? No,
So they would be their language here would, so with their language, if I pull it up, it would be, just pull this up and I can draft for you on the screen. So with their language, modified to otherwise bypass the muffler system. And then I think your question here is that they're not designed to reduce the noise emitted by the motorcycle. If you swap out your standard exhaust, and I have nothing against Honda Gullwings, but I'll use that example here, for an exhaust that gives, like a deeper roar, or, gives you more of like, depending on what you're going for, gives more of that sporty exhaust sound. That wouldn't necessarily be designed to reduce the noise emitted by the motorcycle.
Would you say so?
So the question there is, does it still have, with everything else, does it have a muffling system? Does it have, the internal baffles, et cetera? Or is it being designed to bypass all of that? So
I guess my only concern was is where the comparison was, but I mean, if it's a straight pipe looking exhaust, it's got a baffle and everything in it, I understand that. But if our starting point is like the exhaust was like when it first came from the factory, and when you're gonna put another exhaust on, it's gonna, most guys, they can go a little louder, you know what I mean? They I don't know how much quieter you could get it after a factory exhaust from Harley. It just, you see what I'm saying, kind of there? It's like what are we comparing it to as far as making the motorcycle louder? I mean, actually, it's not gonna you would have to, you have to put it, the way it's written to me, it looks like I would have to put an exhaust on that was quieter than what was originally factory installed, which is,
where does this, Jim, where does it say that?
yeah, so
well, I just wondered if that's what.
all it says is that the motorcycle has to be equipped with an exhaust that includes a muffler or other device designed to reduce the noise emitted, which a straight pipe does not have. And then if you've cut it out, or you've removed the baffles, or you've bypassed the muffling system, then it would also defeat those. But you could still buy an aftermarket exhaust here that produces more noise or a different type of noise. As I read this, particularly if the question really is, I think the concern that was raised is the or similar type of exhaust system that is not designed to reduce the noise emitted by the motorcycle. I think that may be ambiguous, because you run into the question of, does it have a muffling system? And again, this gets down to committee's intent too. So it's going to be ultimately up to you. But the question here is this going to be read so strictly that anything there has to, what do you mean by reduce the noise of the motorcycle? Is it from stock? Or is it just from what it would be if there was no muffling system at all? So,
which it would be quieter, so.
right. So if you have any exhaust with baffles or a muffling system in it, it will be quieter than a straight pipe or, straight out the side exhaust system.
Yeah.
And so I think the question there is, should this be, if the concern is that this could be read too strictly, then it's how do you clarify it? So you get to the point there of having a muffling system, rather than allowing potentially a straight pipe exhaust. So,
I'm sorry, still in the question. I don't want to interrupt there if it.
No, that was my only concern, was just that one deal right there, just what we were gonna.
you
Where the starting
could
point
word
was.
this to be, that does not include any mechanical features to reduce the noise emitted by the motorcycle.
Representative Pouch?
Yeah, and I appreciated what Rep. Keiser came up with. And we know there's a problem out there. That, people have motorcycles and vehicles that make unsafe noise. And these are public roads with people who live or walk or enjoying life, and then they're forced to listen to noise above what the federal government has said is safe. And we know that it's not being enforced either through not getting inspected or they can't really measure it. And I get that, it's difficult. I can't imagine that line there, the way it's written, is going to all of a sudden cause people who have, decided they want a different muffler than what came on it to make a little more noise or make a little more rumble. I can't believe there'll be any inspections that would say that's not acceptable. But I would certainly hope that the inspectors on some motorcycles that we do here, that the inspection would say, no, this muffler is just not meeting the intent of that line there that says, you're adding whatever it was, the added. It's not designed to reduce the noise emitted by the motorcycle. So in the end, obviously the inspection program is not working the way it is. While this language helps a little bit, I got a feeling it's not going to solve any problem either.
Representative Keiser? Oh, sorry, I thought I did.
Scratching my head.
My bad.
Scratching my head here. I would move to add the new wording to the bill
As amended,
as amended. Is that what I said?
or as we just were revising it during the discussion here. Is that,
Yeah, I'm offering amendment to the, pardon me, offering amendment to the bill to incorporate the language we just. Yeah.
And the changes recommended by the.
Yes, and the changes. Thank you for guiding me.
I'm not sure if we even, I'm sorry, but I want to interrupt you there.
No, I was.
I mean, I appreciate what Representative Keiser has done, but I'm not sure I'm there on even this amendment the whole amendment. This whole section as a whole on this, because I've heard a lot of different things back and forth. Inspections happen, it can stick something in the pipe, and I don't think I'm comfortable enough that we fully vetted this, so I would rather remove the whole section. I know that you have an amendment on the table, but I
Representative Burke?
You mean all of section? All of section, whatever it is now, 28, 29,
Yeah.
whatever the number, maybe
28, yeah, okay.
28.
It
I
is.
guess I gotta go back to a process then and say, Representative Keiser has tried to move to say that this language is ready for the bill. And we're under the gun here from that perspective, but I guess I would say is, do you want to comment on that part? I say we will look for this would be a thumbs up scenario. We would normally say, do you want, are we adding it or are we replacing? We're
Replacing.
replacing what was in the bill. Does the committee want to replace the original section 29, which is now section 28,
28.
with this language? And Nance, I guess I would say, put your thumbs up if you want to replace it. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so we want to go ahead with this version. Okay. At least replacing it in the bill is what I'm understanding. But then I would also say the next question was, go ahead, Representative Coyne.
So I'm gonna move to remove the whole section right now, because as I said, I appreciate Representative Keiser's work on a limited and short amount of time. I'm just not on this section. So I move to remove the entire section.
So that would be removing sections 28 and 29 now. So,
No, 28 was up.
right, so 28 was swapped for Representative Keiser's
Oh,
28 and 29.
2 seconds in it.
And so now this is,
Yeah, okay.
So what this would mean is, what we were just working on. Okay, so the original part that came over for the Senate's gone. We
Yes.
put it in this part, and now Representative McCoy is moving to remove it entirely, that it's not ready. Representative Burke?
Well, we just voted to put this in, right?
To substitute
For.
what was originally there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So I guess that, would that make it a motion that you're saying you want to reconsider that, or that we're not putting that, we're not?
yeah, you don't need to follow strict rules of order like you do on the floor, like you don't have to worry about degrees of amendment here. So you can have this in and then vote to take the whole thing out. Because you're still, this is editing the bill is kind of a free form thing. It's good to have procedure just to keep everyone on the same page, but you don't have to worry about, oh, did we go to the third degree of amendment or something like that? Or are we, reconsidering something that we already voted on? So that's.
So Representative Payton?
I'm okay with the language Chris had there. I'm also okay with removing it. I don't know how I'm supposed to vote, but I've already voted for one thing, so that's 2 separate things, right? So I'm okay with either way, to be honest with you. So
You're saying that you're okay with the language.
I only have a problem with that one little thing, and if it doesn't become a big deal, then
In comparison to the original language in the original bill that came over, which is
Right.
gone. That was what we're saying. The
That
original-
that was looking for the EPA stamp.
Right, and that's the
original
EPA
bill.
stamp language, et cetera, is gone. That's what we just did, right? Everybody make sure we're clear of that. The original section regarding EPA stamp is gone. And we are going to put this version in instead. That's what we're doing. I want to make sure we're all,
Yeah.
we just voted on it, right?
and we're
Yeah.
okay with that. Representative Burke?
Well, I was just gonna just move that we keep Representative Keiser's version that we just voted on and not take it.
Well, we have I think a motion on. the
That's
table.
what I'm trying to confuse you
So
about.
I want to
where
make
we
sure
are.
that we're clear that maybe we're already. That, right, But the original bill had come over that regarded EPA stamps is out. And this language that Representative Keiser is working is in. And then Representative McCoy is saying, I'd like to see.
And specifically for what's just happening in the last minute or two, that we need to get to the floor. This bill's got to get out. I don't think, I have not had enough time.
We want to take this out
Take the whole thing out. We can read.
and the original section.
Correct. Well, whatever, it's a replacement.
What we're looking at.
Whatever this is and what it's replacing.
Yes.
And the original portion of the bill to go down to nothing.
Yes.
No mention of the motorcycle EPA piece or this. That is what Representative McCoy is saying, that there's not enough time, that she's saying we shouldn't do this part. And she wants to remove the original piece then. So I don't know if that's two sections or not. There are two steps. And he said we don't need to be that formal. So
Yeah, you can just, at this point, you can consider, do you want to keep 28 and 29 or not?
I
This
guess,
point.
in my two cents, if this wasn't in the bill already, I would probably be fine, yank it. The problem is, it is in the bill. It's not gonna go away. So the question is do we try to make a statement of what direction our committee wants to go when it goes to the other side and say, hey, this is what we're willing to do, as to have no direction, no boundaries whatsoever. And, then it could, expand into whatever, but I think it's just giving a guidance of, what this committee would like to see as opposed to just saying nothing. Because like I said, I don't think they're gonna drop it on the other side, so, but.
Representative Fowler?
Yeah, I'd agree with Rep. Corcoran, because it did come over. And we heard testimony from the Harley Davidson fella who said, hey, when we inspect, we look for mufflers that have been modified that make noise. But don't make us look for the stamp. That is really hard to do, and one that you buy from them may not have the stamp. We went through that, and that seemed to be, even in my mind, it was like, I'm not sure we can go forward with that. But I would like to read in here the intent to not allow really grossly modified or mufflers that aren't designed to keep noise within a reasonable level. So I would prefer to keep this language in for that same reason.
Representative Lau?
Yeah, I support that too. I think this approach by Rep. Keiser is outcomes focused. And we have heard a lot of testimony on that. I think there's some agreement that too much noise is too much noise in the sense of what that is. And this just seems like a reasonable approach that is simpler to for the person inspecting to make that call. And a sticker is just a sticker.
Okay. We got it real quick. Representative Webb?
I fully agree with Rep. Corcoran. I think it's going to come back in conference committee. If we don't have anything here, we're going to start with the Senate's version. So I think that's a good approach. And I would love to hear back from the Harley Davidson person about these changes next week.
Representative Burke?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I've had people over the years say, can't you do anything about motorcycles? And, I feel like there's problems, and if you can get a little better, then.
Okay.
Favor.
So I voted to leave it in here.
I can certainly.
It was at least 9. It was at least 9 to say, put it in here. So I guess I would say at this point, is there anybody that's not comfortable with voting on the entire bill? Go ahead.
I move that we approve draft.
It's going to be draft. Okay, it will be draft 3.1. Yeah. So what I will do is you guys can vote it. I'm going to send it to the editors just to get them to check the last couple changes I made, and I'll give a clean copy. I'll have a clean copy before you're off the floor.
It would have to be Well, I mean, the speaker wants to do this now. I believe.
Speaker wants it now. Okay, we just.
Got it announcements.
Well, we haven't even.
You can do it after all the debate. She can do it after the action calendar. She can do it.
She can do it.
You guys need something to bring down, right?
Correct.
Yeah, let me just,
Okay.
we're good.
All right, so I move that we approve draft 3.1 of the miscellaneous DMV bill S 326.
And the clerk shall call the roll, so they speak, they say.
Okay, Rep. Burke,
Yes.
Rep. Casey,
Is that Lee Keezers?
Yes.
Okay, yes.
Rep. Corcoran,
Yes.
Rep. Keiser,
Yes.
Rep. Lally,
Yes.
Rep. Matoy,
Yes.
Rep. Couch,
Yes.
Rep. Tomlinson, yes. Rep. Wells,
Yes.
Rep. White,
Yes.
Rep. Walker. All right, 11-0-0.
Thank you all very much for your work. Thank you to the DMV and all of your colleagues, and thank you.